Hello everyone, today I've got something very cool to show you. It's a SIG-510 bayonet or a STGW-57 Bayonet, whichever name you want to use for it. As far as I'm aware, it would fit on both rifles. So what were these rifles it went on? Well, the SIG-510 was a gun developed in Switzerland by SIG-SAUER, or however it's pronounced, the firearms manufacturer. And it was one of the first proper battle rifles developed in the Cold War, because it came out around 1950 from what I've read. And it's a really ugly looking gun, but apparently it was really effective. You know, all the mechanics were very good, very reliable, obviously made by the Swiss, so it was a really well put together gun. Very accurate for a battle rifle, I think around 2 to 3 MOA, which is very good for a gun of its period. So, you know, this thing was very accurate. I don't know how much it cost to produce and everything. And they made two versions. There was the SIG-510, which was in the native Swiss cartridge, as far as I'm aware. And there was also the STGW-57, which I think was the one that was made in 7.62 NATO. Maybe it's the other way around. The STGW-57 was the native one, the SIG-510 was the domestic, sort of, or the international one, I'm not sure. But from everything I've read, you know, that it's basically the two names. One was the export version in the 7.62 NATO, the other was the local Swiss one in their own calibre, which I think is slightly more powerful than 7.62 NATO. But regardless, this is the bayonet that would go on it. I bought this from D&B Militaria before anyone asks. That's where I get all my deactivated guns from. Obviously I didn't really have the budget for a deactivated gun, but they had one of these in stock again. I wanted to get one of these before, but they'd sold out when I tried to buy it from them. So it's a big blade. It's about 24 centimetres when I measured it. That's about 9.5 inches, just over 9.5 inches. So it's a big blade. It's not sharp. This end bit here is slightly sharp, but that's about it. Not enough to really cut yourself on or anything like that. You wouldn't be able to use this as a utility knife, and you shouldn't sharpen it up for it. This is a pure bayonet. Obviously, the whole point of this is that it's got a good point. So as I was saying, you know, 24 centimetres of blade, very competent blade length, and you know, powerful. So there's your bayonet lug, pretty straightforward. You've got this sort of plastic, what I assume is plastic and not bakelite. Or is that actually wood? I'm not sure if this is plastic or wood, to be honest. It's either wood that's painted black or plastic. I'd assume plastic, but I'm not totally sure. And then you've got your sort of bayonet release thing here. So obviously that would push forwards onto the bayonet lug on the rifle. That would hold it in place there over the barrel, and then you'd have your underbarrel bayonet. So it's got a nice big handguard, or sort of grip on it, if you want to call it a grip, on here. Because with some bayonets, where they're designed to go on the rifle, they're almost too small to hold in your hand. But this is obviously a classic bayonet in the sense of you can use it in your hand as a thrusting weapon. It gives you a very good long reach. You can actually chop with it, but as I said, because it's not sharp, it wouldn't do much. But it would definitely bruise and maybe break bones if you had to do that. Makes a nice noise though when you swipe it around. Hopefully that comes up on the camera, but yeah, nice noise. Okay, so there's a marking there, looks like F plus and a mountain, no idea which manufacturer that is, and then there's a serial number on this side. But yeah, it's very, very nice. As said, you know, this is a classic bayonet, because I really like bayonets that are actually proper bayonets, if that makes sense, because a lot of modern ones, and these are very good as practical knives, but they're basically a utility kind of blade. You know, a blade that has wire cutters on, a serrated edge, a bit of a sharp edge, and a point. And the idea is that you can put on your rifle as, you know, to stab with it, or you can just use it as a general kind of utility knife. So some of those actually do have sharp edges. Classic bayonets are basically, this is designed to stab somebody with it. This is the entire purpose. It turns your gun into a spear or gives you a very big handheld blade. So you wouldn't do any utility stuff with this at all. There's no wire cutter as far as I can tell on here or anything. Nope, it's just a standard sort of plastic sheath. Sits very well in there, no wobble even if I do that upside down, so that's very good. Comes out nice and easy though, goes in either way. That is a really good sheath. Grips a bit around here, but then that's not even going to wear your blade down, because that's where you've got the flat edge of the blade. So yeah, very, very nice. But I'm sure what you want to see with it is how well it goes into wood, so let's try that now. And would you look at that? That is properly into that board. So there you have it. That's the STGW-57 Bayonet. It goes properly into a breadboard or cutting board. Made quite a good gouge on there. I use this for quite a lot of knives. I just like to try dropping them in and see if they can hold themselves in on their own weight. If they can, you know, it's a good knife. I wonder if I can actually stab it into this, so let me just try that now. I'll just set that up. Right, you can see it's on there, so here I go. I'm going to have a go at stabbing it in. Oh yep, that's worked. Pull it out, try again. Yep, that goes in absolutely fine into there, so very good bayonet. So there you have it, the SIG-510 bayonet, or STGW-57 bayonet. What a lovely blade this is. I wouldn't mind to start collecting bayonets actually, but the issue seems to be with bayonets that they kind of have that deactivated gun logic to the pricing, where a lot of the time it's not really based on availability, because this was £35, which is a really nice price for the actual blade, but as far as I'm aware these wouldn't be the most mass-produced bayonets because they were made for basically one gun. So, you know, that's what I find a bit weird with stuff like this, is sometimes you can get a really nice bayonet for like this for like 30 odd quid. You can get, you know, AK bayonets for like £20 despite them being one of the most mass-produced bayonets ever. Yet there's other sort of bayonets that were also made in huge numbers that seem to demand a higher price, sometimes like SLR bayonets and FAU bayonets, despite the fact they must have made loads of them if you consider that the FAU was the right arm of the free world, used by about 90 different armies during the course of its history. Weirdly, FAU bayonets tend to be like £100, which I guess isn't due to rarity of the FAU bayonet, it is due to the fact that lots of people want to charge more for it because of the famous gun attached to it. But there you go, STGW-57 bayonet, very very nice. Obviously can't say that enough about it. What a lovely blade. Maybe at some point I'll do some tests with this, actually stabbing it into pumpkins or something, but very very nice collectible piece. I'd recommend you pick one up if you see one in stock. As I said, I got it from D&B Militaria, so if they've got them on there, they'd probably be around the £35 I paid for this one.